doesn't even faze me anymore.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's called
addiction.
Addiction.
That's called that. You know what? That ranks up there when she's like 20, when she's like 22, and then like her like 15th year in college, and she's still a sophomore by credit. I wouldn't get hungover anymore, Dad. Awesome, super awesome.
Know where that tuition money's going.
Yeah. I also see that your stomach's distended out like you're fucking 6 months pregnant. That's called liver damage, daughter. God.
Every single time. Every time. Everybody in the club get tipsy. Welcome to Running Beer and BS, a podcast where we discuss those things and more. I'm Flores.
I'm Johnny.
And you were like choking on your spit.
Swallowing is hard.
And this is episode 19. Today...
Niner.
19er. Today we're going back to our history of races. This is part Part duh. We're talking about Playin Possum 50K. We're going to talk a little bit of history, everything that went into starting the race, and then it's been 6 years that this race has been running, so kind of just give a little bit of information to that. But as always, we're going to start with what's dehydrating us. What do we got here tonight, John?
We have from Buckeye Lake Brewery, we have their Irish Red. They call it the Dublin Irish Red.
Imagine that they're original.
Yeah, very, very good. It's not bad. It was in a fresh fill, so it hung in there for about 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
When we cracked it still had like a pretty good head on it. So
yeah, these crowlers they're interesting. They're interesting concepts. Was it a guy out in Colorado? I think invented this ability, created a machine that he could wholesale out.
Oh, really?
To places to do it. So this is a patented thing that he sells these machines to people and crowlers. Because did you see how they spun it on?
Oh, dude, they have it right there front and center for you. It's
super cool.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Carney barking when he's like, all right, I'm gonna fill this screen. I'm like, all right, bro, fucking chill out.
Did he really do all of that?
No, I mean he's like, all right, so I got this fresh fill, and I'm like, bro, just fill the fucking can.
Yeah, please just fill it.
Uh-oh. That's not gonna be all that. It's like, yeah. So, but no, he kind of put it on. I've never seen one go on before. It was kind of neat to watch it go on, how it happens and like that. But it kept it fresh for, like I said, for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And then when we opened it tonight, it still had a pretty good head. I mean, it's an Irish Red, so it's not super, super carbonated anyways. Yeah. But what do you think of the flavor and everything on it?
It's not too bad. It's a solid Irish Red. There's not, it's good. It's not an Irish Red that's going to blow me away.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
It's better than Killian's.
Dog urine is probably better than Killian's.
Irish dog urine. I like it.
Yeah, so Buckeye Lake Brewing, where are they? They're that's a stupid
Are you
question.
fucking kidding me right now?
Where at Buckeye Lake? I've never been to Buckeye Lake other than passing it on 70.
Yeah, that's kind of my extent of it too.
Okay. Other than going here.
Yeah, but even when I went here, I had to GPS it to it. But,
gotcha.
I believe it's on the north side of the lake, kind of like Central Lake north.
So it's on the north-south side of the Central Lake?
North-south side central of the East Lake on the third Tuesday.
Gotcha, okay.
Because it rotates. On the fourth Tuesday.
It's when the monsoon comes.
On the fourth Tuesday, they actually pick up the entire brewery and move it. No, it's dead center on the North Shore. Okay. Yeah. But it's not on the shore. It's across the road.
It's not along the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, go. We'll have their information in the show notes, but check them out. They don't bottle or anything, right?
They do actually. So it's kind of crazy. When I was in there, they have bottles that they sell in the brewery, and then they were actually bragging about having a special bottle that they had brewed specifically for a drive-through. Huh. And I'm like, oh, cool. Where's the drive-through at? And this guy's like, well, you got to go up. And he named the city. I'm like, I've literally traveled. I've literally traveled almost all of Central Ohio. And he
never heard a city.
And he had named the little city. And when he named it, I was like, I got nothing. And he's like, oh, well, it's just up here. And he's like describing how to get there. And I had no clue what he was talking about still yet. But they bottle like very, very limited releases, and then send them out to like certain little places.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they do very small brewery. I was stunned. I didn't know they had been there for 6 years.
Really? I knew they'd been around for a little bit, but I've never.
I thought it was like 2, maybe 3 years.
There's also no reason for me to ever head that far
It's
east.
way out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I found out. I was like, oh yeah, you guys are way out there. And then we started talking about the new Buckeye or the new Ale Trail.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, oh, well, shit, if you think we're way out here, have you seen a new Ale Trail? And I'm like, nah, not really. He's like, well, there's 41 breweries out there.
That's nuts.
And like, there went from being none in Newark to 4, I think, in Newark.
Huh.
And like,
Newark's not that big of a place that you would need.
There's 4 of them out there, 3, maybe 4. And I was like surprised.
Yeah.
And then so there's those ones out there. I think he said there's 1 or 2 down in Lancaster now. You're going to have to drive
A little bit to
if
hit
you
the
want to hit all 41 of them this year. But anywho,
yeah, we'll have their information in the show notes. Again, you can always find our show notes on our website at runningbeerandbs.com/EP019 for episode 19. How was your week? We'll get into Possum was this weekend, but how was the rest of your week?
I mean, I really didn't know the rest of the week existed other than Possum.
Oh, yeah.
It was just kind of that week. Yeah.
Yeah, we're switching things up just a little bit because we had a very busy weekend. We're actually at John's place tonight recording on a Monday night. So when you hear this was literally recorded less than 12 hours.
It's fresh.
Yeah, it is.
This is brewed fresh.
It is about as fresh as it gets.
We got an angsty 14-year-old over watching us, critiquing us every second.
Yeah, she wants to make sure it's our social media manager.
Yeah.
That's what we should just give her a job.
Oh, God.
Have her log into our Instagram account?
Yeah.
How many puppies and rainbows would we like?
Just have her live streaming it the whole time.
That's more awkward than anything else.
We'd be the rave of the freshman and sophomore class at Delaware Hayes. I'm not sure how that would turn out. Yeah. Hey kids, here's all you need to beer. Parents would hate
you guys like running? Do you like drinking?
Hey kids, I got free beer in this.
You want some candy? I was watching John Oliver, and he had a bit about rehab or something like that. And he was talking about people would go around and like try to find people that had like good insurance. He's like, in the interview was like, yeah, we used to just drive around and we saw someone on the side of the street, be like, hey, you got insurance? And he's like, that's the second creepiest thing right next to, hey, you want some candy? Like, yeah, that's pretty weird. Yeah, this week I was a little busy doing some video filming and stuff like that. Is that the rain coming down?
That is rain.
Ooh, it's raining.
Almost recorded outside.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, maybe not. The radar looks pretty shitty.
Look at that. There's a lot of red on that radar.
Yeah, that's weird. But talked to one of the owners at Olentangy Brewing. Apparently we have a few listeners over there, which is nice. So shout them out. And he was kind of telling me because they're planning on opening it by I think like in the fall. And he's looking pretty. I think it was the fall. I could be very well misquoting him.
So no, I have talked also to somebody.
Yeah, somebody you know.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, they think September's going to happen. And
well, the weird thing is, so I didn't realize this. We were talking about this. One, did you know Ill Mannered has a new spot?
No,
or is building an additional spot, or they're doing something.
But that's kind of good because their spot lightweight sucked.
But so in addition to that, there's also another brewery going in Powell near the railroad tracks.
Like there by Jewett?
No, on the railroad tracks on Powell Road. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was saying like Ill Mannered's new, theirs, and this Powell Brewing are supposed to be opening at a similar time, and they're actually doing some sort of like coalition's not the right word for it, but like some kind of thing together to support like, hey, come to Northern Columbus. Like, don't spend all your time at the breweries downtown. Like, Northern Franklin County, Southern Delaware County has a lot of good beer too.
Yeah, they're not Franklin County. They're definitely Delaware County. I can literally see our Instagram feed, and Facebook feed with a certain librarian, like literally phonetically breaking down this word collaboration. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention.
Where's this microphone? Or Greg corrected you. You're like, Greg, that was too funny. He sent that word. You're like, this is way too smart for me. And he's like, no, it's the S word you were trying to say.
I don't even remember trying to say that word. That's the funny thing.
You were trying to say Jen said something. You're like, it's an S word, and I can't quite put it on there. And he gave you like a history of the word. You're like,
son of a bitch.
You're like, oh, this is definitely not for me. It's too smart.
This has got to be for Flores. Yes, collaboration.
Yeah.
But I know Owen Tansey's talking about trying to hit the September mark, but
who knows?
Whenever it happens, I know for a fact they'll have a pretty good contingent there. I mean, they've done a pretty good job of.
Well, they're wanting to tap in big with the runners and like do their own little running club thing, kind of like Hoof Hearted has. And then we've already talked to them about Hangry and stuff like that. So like that.
I think Hangry should buy one of the bar stools. Did you know about that?
No.
Ooh, I might have. So I have a little birdie that told me that one of their crowdsourcing they're looking at doing. One of the ways they're looking at raising funds is you can literally like buy a bar stool.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and so you can walk up like, hey man, you're sitting in my seat. No, you are literally sitting in my seat.
Hey, I mean,
that'd be kind of gangster.
To have a Hangry one.
We could have a Hangry one and then we could have
one.
I was going to say a running beer and BS.
Yeah.
Have a Hangry, a running beer and BS, and a Possum one.
Yeah. We're just going to buy the entire bar.
Dude,
anytime we go up, like,
left side.
Hey, you guys, you can't sit here.
Hey, clear out.
We don't want to sit here either, but you just can't.
We'll be outside, but get the fuck out of our seat.
That's my seat.
That'd be kind of cool.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
My little birdie didn't tell me that, but also we weren't talking about that kind of thing. But very interesting. One other thing that hasn't happened for me, I haven't been running. I know.
I tried to get you into a run tonight. And you're, no.
Well, I mean, we had to record and we have to edit it, and it has to be up in 3.5 hours. So
what's your issue?
Yeah, so I haven't really doing too many runs, and I'm only 2 weeks out from Kettle, which is kind of scary.
Oh my God. Yeah. 2 weeks?
2.5 weeks.
So
not this Saturday. Next Saturday.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Are you being serious right now?
So not even 2 weeks. That's less than 2 weeks.
So we're
I'm bad
talking,
with math.
Math
June
hurts.
2nd.
It's June 2nd. Oh, man. I might not be able to go up there for that. That, my friend, is near.
It's coming up quick.
Dude,
if I didn't have all those races like early in the year, I'd been like kind of worried. What in the world?
By the way, that's my contact that we were just talking about. So,
that's great. But yeah, so Kettle's only a few weeks away. That's going to be something
awesome.
Else. But let's get into like a real highlight kind of thing. How was Possum,
dude? So I'm going to give a very high end, like a very broad statement kind of thing. Everyone knows, or most people listening to this knows, that Possum is known for shit weather, right? Just rain, hail, mud, snow, hail.
Yeah, we had the snow and ice that one year.
Ice, like it's just known to be shit, right? I would have taken all those shitty days rolled up into one. It was so fucking hot. It was so fucking hot. Hot.
Toyota hot.
So, and then not only, so what made it really, and honestly, I will honestly go and say, this is the 6th year I've ran it, and it's the 6th year in its existence. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to do a hot take.
Uh-oh.
This is the hardest year.
The finisher times said that to me.
Dude, unfucking real. Because what made it bad was not only was it super hot, but then when you're like, okay, it's hot, it is what it is, it would like just boom, clap thunderstorm. Like just a really clap, heavy rain, and it would do it for like 5-10 minutes, right? Get you really good and soaked, it'd get the ground nice and wet, get everything pretty saturated, and then it would just stop. and then get right back up into the mid 80s. So all that glorious steam is just trapped underneath the tree canopy, and you're like, oh my God. So it was between the humidity and the heat. I will honestly say it was one of the harder years I've ran.
Well, I think that's one of the tougher things because you can mud and rain, like you just have to deal with because that's there, and like you can. It's going to slow you down a little bit, but it's not going to break your body apart.
Yeah.
Heat will suck the living life out of you.
So it's funny that you mentioned the heat. I actually have, I have this weird chafe mark, like, right on my sternum, right on
I wish I was taking a picture of this.
Was that your xiphoid process? I think that's called or something like that.
Dr. Mike?
Yeah. But it's like I had the weirdest rat, like
from your strap or from your button?
Not even from my strap because I ran with a waist belt. I tried something new because, smart people try new shit during races. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to run with these water bottles.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
No, it must be because from the button down, I was like, but all the races I've ever ran, those are the shirts I run in. That's just kind of my thing, right? I have never, ever, ever once had one do that to me. And that son of a bitch, that's how hot and humid and just gross it was. Jen has
I saw her knee.
Oh, from her brace?
From her knee brace.
Yeah, so she has fucking, that shit looks like gross. So she has that, and then she has a crazy one going across her back, perfect, from kidney across the spine all the way to the next kidney, perfect, chafing, rash, sweat, heat kind of thing going across there too. It is. I'm telling you, it was a rough day, man.
I said from the finishers' times, it looked like everyone was a little slower than they were used to.
Here's when you know it's a bad running day. When the heat is just really cranking people out. I'm willing to bet that one of the hardest female runners I know, one of the hardest runners I know, one of the absolute toughest runners I know, male or female, is Steph, right?
Yeah.
Sheldon's soon-to-be wife, fiance. I saw her, and initially she was in second place the first time I saw her because, she's fast as fuck. Yeah. And I'm talking second place overall. Place.
Not second place anyway. She's fast.
I see her again. I'm like, how's it going, Steph? She's like, been throwing up all day long. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's not good.
Still in second, though. I'm like, you are bad as fuck, dude. You are such
I threw up once. I'm like, we're going to take a nap here for 3 hours.
And, you have to talk me all the way out of the DNF tree if I throw up once. But she's like, yeah, I've been throwing up. I'm like, holy shit. So then I see Sheldon later on. I'm like, hey, man, how's Steph doing? I haven't seen her, just the way the course is laid out.
Yeah.
Haven't seen her. He's like, man, she's been fucking puking all day. She's had to stop and use the bathroom a bunch of times. I was like, well, she's still second. And he's like, no, she's dropped back to fourth. I'm like, holy shit. But that's how bad it was that Steph was getting sick.
Yeah.
It was a tough
Well, the problem
day.
too with where an mid-May race is we haven't had those temperatures to get acclimated to.
Right, especially this year.
It's been freezing.
Yeah, this year.
Up until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it went straight from 30s to
We skipped spring.
Yeah, we straight. And you know what? I see all you people posting on there about don't bitch about the heat. Fuck y'all. I'm bitching about the heat. I want my spring back.
Yeah, I want spring.
Yeah, so it was a challenging. It was. I will honestly go out and say. I told Mark, I was like, because he and I are kind of talking about it, I was like, I will honestly say, I think this might have been the hardest year.
Yeah.
For Possum. So
that's that rain is coming down. Yeah, I'm really glad we didn't decide to record outside.
Could you imagine? There's no way we have everything broke down without it.
This board would have been toast. I would have just brought my laptop in and be like, well, we're just going to buy a new board.
And that happened.
Yeah. So please give us your donations because we need a new board. We need a new board.
It's your choice. Either no more podcasts or we need a new board.
Yeah, that's real true. We're putting this on you.
This is your fault.
Yeah, if this doesn't grow, it's all your fault.
So, no, but that was, but you know what? Even with the crazy ass heat, Stuart, the photographer, he said it best. I saw him post this on Team Possum, and he said it best. Even with the heat, even with the couple of rainstorms here and there, and even with the humidity, and even with it just being what it was that day, of the, I don't know, dozen or so photos he posted, the common theme, even with all that, just motherfucker smiling, man.
All the smiles. Those pictures are so good. He's such a good photographer.
Dude, and it was just awesome because it was as bad as it was. Every single possum you ran by was like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, big, huge smiles and shit. You're like, you guys are
just take it in stride. You're like, well, especially like most of our crew, it's like they're not trying to win anything.
No,
they're just trying to run and have a good time.
So like everyone's still smiling. The aid stations were, just killing it again. The aid stations were all over it. No issues there. So it was just your very typical possum event. Everyone having a blast, all the crew and all the volunteers and everybody kicking ass, doing good stuff. So I guess like straight from that, a typical possum race. Let's go into the possum race series itself. Really specifically, we're going to talk about the 50K. So the possum race series, we talked about it a couple months ago now. Yeah.
The Seamus Opossum 30K and 10 miler that happens in March around St. Patrick's Day. And then the second part of it is the Playin Possum 50K. Like John said, this was the sixth running of this race. But let's go a little bit into the background of how this race came to be and all that good stuff.
So my understanding of this race, the Playin Possum, it is basically named after one of the race directors, because my understanding of the story goes is one of the directors was going after one of his multiple buckles from Mo, and in very typical form for him, he was being uber modest about it, like, I don't know if I got it this year, and I'm just so out of shape, and and just, and of course he went out and just fucking killed it, did a great job, and got his buckle. But when he was being all humble and being, they had decided they're going to make their own T-shirts up, and his name be called Team Possum, and because he was playing possum, playing half dead and shit. Right. So they made up these shirts playing possum, and then so keeping that theme, it was there was like a group. I think the core group is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4
or 5,
maybe 6 at most. Yeah. And then so that core, 2 from that core, maybe 3 from that core, just decided, you know what we really kind of need here in Delaware? We need to bring kind of like this trail running community into Delaware. We need to kind of bring that in, and we need to make sure that we keep it with keeping with tradition. Keep it kind of old school. Keep it kind of like a grassroots. No frills. No big expenses and all that kind of stuff, and just keep it very.
The possum we're talking about here, he's definitely an old school runner. Like, yeah. I don't know, like everything about it is just like him in general as a runner, and then especially how he turned the race into. Every year I am kind of surprised. I'm really kind of waiting for the year that comes around when the race shirts, the swag shirts for the race, is fucking cotton tees. Yeah. Like, I'm just waiting for that. You should just do it. Like, I'm waiting for that, like, fuck it. We're not doing any of that fancy-ass, like, we should do it like, hey, here's your cotton tee. Yeah. And you have to wear it during the race.
Like, I'm kind of, like, waiting for that day just to happen where it's like, we're taking this shit all away. And then, of course, like, when you get to the aid station, it's going to be nothing but, like, water and, like, fucking bologna sandwiches and shit. No
pickles.
No, like, fuck the pickles and fuck the fruit. Like he is that old school, man. But it's so cool. But I mean, look what that group has brought. I mean, it's like, so the other thing is when they decided to kind of form this race, the other big thing for them was they wanted it to be. They didn't want it to be a profit thing, so their charity that's near and dear to them, specifically one of them is Special Olympics. Yeah. And it's Delaware Special Olympics. So the amount of money they have given to Delaware Special Olympics, he said it at the beginning of the race, and I totally missed it.
It's a lot.
Like, I have a number in my head that I think it is, but I don't want to throw that number out because the number I think it is fucking bonkers high.
I think it's higher than that.
No.
I think it is.
I don't think you saw the number I did. Then it can't be higher than that.
How many zeros did you put there?
Well, I don't want to say that because then I'll tell people what I think I said. But they have raised just an absolute.
No, I think it's more than that, man.
Is it really?
You think about it. I mean, this is 6 years.
Yeah.
Do the math on that. That's not.
So the number we're bouncing around, and for if either one of the two race directors wants to correct us, absolutely feel free to correct us. But we believe they have raised over $30,000 for Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Like just Delaware Special Olympics.
Right, Delaware County Special Olympics. It's not like Special Olympics of America.
It is literally just Delaware County.
Our local chapter.
Which is just, I mean, wrap your head around what these two guys have basically enabled this group of kids to do, this group of people to do. I mean, it's insane.
Right, and kind of to piggyback on it, we've talked about the Hangry Race Series. Hangry Race Series, when I started it, I said, you know what, the Possum guys know what they're doing. I'm basically, Hangry is literally Possum light.
Yeah.
I copy everything they do. Yeah. And I mean, really, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the drive to be like, hey, I can put on a race and raise money there. So it's like they're making a much further reach than they realize in what they did, like in the community itself and getting people out on the trails that may have never run a trail race before. We can get kind of like our story.
Myself, I would have never ever ran a trail race if it wasn't for the Possum Race Series.
Right.
You know, and that's just a reality, but that's their history. I mean, so when they started it, they wanted it to be very old school. To this day, right? You think of any other big race group, think of any other big race series, more than likely you can go to their website page or you can go to like their Facebook page or something like that. And I would almost be willing to bet you they have a shop page, right? You can go and you can buy something. Guess what Possums don't have?
They have a shop page, but they never actually did anything with it. Like there's a hoodie on it and it just says sold out.
Yeah.
Because they were going to do it and they're like, this is too much work.
Yeah. That's
But then again, they weren't trying to make profit off of any of it.
It all goes to charity. Every red cent they bring in goes to charity.
And even at the end of the year, like if there's extra water bottles or glasses or bandanas or whatever, we do a turkey trot that is a no-cost turkey trot, and basically it's just like, hey, if you want like an old T-shirt, not a raise T-shirt, but like just an extra T-shirt or something else, like just drop money in a bin and raise even more money because they're like, we have this extra stuff, we're just going to sell it too.
That's where I get all my bandanas from.
Yeah, every year I grab a couple.
I threw $20 in there and I grabbed a handful of bandanas because I love running with the red bandanas. So the blood. What up, blood?
There's all the Crips. They're all gone listeners now.
Damn it. Peace, cuz. So,
one other thing with the Special Olympics, which is pretty cool, is every year before we start the race, and it's every Possum race is like the Seamus and the 50K is there is a Special Olympian there, and most of the time these people are doing like multiple sports, like very well, like top tier athletes.
They're like badasses.
Yeah, they're absolute. They're like
awesome athletes.
The top tier of Delaware County, not just Delaware County, but they also win like Ohio, and some of them I think have gone to national stages and done stuff as well. Like these athletes are absolutely amazing, but before every single race, a Special Olympian basically leads us in the Special Olympics oath.
Yeah. This year, oh God, what? I cannot remember her name that led it this year, but she led it. But then also, so not only did she come and lead the oath, but then she was also out on the course and she was directing traffic for us also.
Was she the one that ran the 30K?
Yes.
Because I saw her with the Seamus shirt on.
Yeah.
I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah. So she was out there, and on the same note about how the volunteers are and everything like that, ran by her twice. Yeah, ran by her twice.
Yep.
Heading out to the dam and back from the dam, both times. I mean, just ear to ear smile, high fiving and shit. And I know that I saw someone talking about she basically help them not DNF.
Really?
Yep.
That's just that's just awesome.
So I mean that's like the
whole group between the race directors and all the volunteers, like John said, the amount of people that go out there and volunteer, and a lot of the volunteers are actual runners that do like a race director's race a couple weeks before, and then they spend that entire day. So they run the race before, and then they spend that entire day doing something as well, or marking the course the day before, or cleaning up the course that evening, or
So at the aid station, so going back to who's working those aid stations, go to the aid station that is at the campground entrance, right?
Okay.
The one that you hit once, twice, 3 times. You hit 3.
You should hit it. You don't do Bigfoot twice?
You start at the starting line, you go out, you hit it, and you come straight back.
Oh, that's right. You come straight back, and then you hit.
And then you go down to the dam, you come back to the start, you hit it going out, and then you go to the book, and then you hit it, come back, and then you go.
Home.
So you hit 3 times. At that aid station, off the top of my head, there is someone there that has multiple 100-mile finishes there. And then, obviously, at the start-finish, you have people who have multiple 100-mile finishes. And then you go down to below the dam, and I'm trying to remember who is there. I believe there's multiple 100 miles there also. And then you go out to the hunting ground, like out by Pervert Cove. And there are
not the official name.
Yeah. There are multiple people with multiple 100-mile finishes out there. Yeah, so you can literally stagger into any aid station at one of these events, and you are going to be in such good, knowledgeable hands.
You're well taken care of.
I mean, it is over the moon. And I would almost go on a limb and say that any one of them have seen almost anything you can bring them.
Yeah.
In that situation.
They've either been in it, or they've helped or seen it or know what to do with it.
Exactly. So the other thing I really love about it is how it is, even as big as it is, as big as it's gotten, it's still very much a rogue is not really the right word, but it's still very much a no hierarchy. Yeah. It's very much like this free flowing, oh yeah, that person's kind of a member kind of thing. And there's no structure to it really.
Yeah. Well, that's what when I was talking to one of the directors about the, in a film I had done, he was saying, Team Possum is he's like, I think we're an official group. Yeah. He's like, I don't know. He's like, we don't have any sort of membership pledge. There's no oath you have to take. You just
no blood oath.
Yeah. You just join.
Yeah.
And you're in kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. It's a great group of people. Obviously John and I talk so highly of possums. Probably in every single episode we bring up possums that are doing great things and stuff like that. But one of the things I really like with the possum races, so I've done, I did the first 5 years. I couldn't do this year, but some scheduling conflicts, and really also wanted to take a break because I don't want to have that thing where you have to do it every single year. You don't want to be one of the last 5.
Oh, I'm totally going to do it every year.
You got FOMO like a mother.
I got to do it every year. I will do, there will not be a year I do not do.
I was not planning on doing this year. I was planning on either filming or volunteering. Because I was like, all right, if I miss this year, then I can just do it willy-nilly and I can do it whenever I want.
Yeah, see.
I just want to get to a point where it's all right, maybe I'm not feeling too well, all right, I have an injury or I have something, but I have to get this race done because I've got to be. It's nope, I don't want that in my head. I'm just going to bow out of it and be done.
I will always be. Yeah, so.
But every single race, the finisher's medal, or award rather, is a horseshoe.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
So the history on the horseshoe, for those of you that don't know, Delaware County in Delaware, the city of Delaware, has a pretty good history, pretty rich history of horse racing, specifically harness racing. So every September during the fair, there is toward the end of the fair,
the town shuts down.
The town literally shuts down.
Schools are gone. Yep, all the businesses are closed.
Yeah, it is crazy. And why, you ask? Because virtually everybody is at an event called the Little Brown Jug.
The Jug.
The Jug. Jug Day is Thursday. So the Little Brown Jug, for those of you who don't know, it is the World Series, Stanley Cup, Super Bowl,
Kentucky Derby,
everything rolled into one of harness racing. I am telling you, I have worked a beer stand on the back stretch of the Little Brown Jug one time, and it was absolutely insane. The delegations, the nationalities that was in Delaware for the Jug. Puerto Ricans, Australians, British, Kiwis. I mean, Singapore. I mean, you name it. They were here, and they were here for the jug. Literally no. Yeah, we flew in like a couple days ago. Watched racing. We'll probably fly out. I don't know. Friday, maybe Saturday, depending on how we're feeling the day after. Like, holy shit. So, by the way, if you're flying into Delaware County Airport, more than likely you flew in your own badass jet.
Yeah. You
like,
own the jet.
Like, you are a fucking baller, you know, but like Canadians were coming down for it. I mean, it's insane, the people that come in. The other really fun part about the jug is you get to see some of Delaware's uber elite at rock bottom. I am talking rock bottom, yo. I mean, you're like...
Again, all businesses close. School is not open. People have nothing to do but drink, because the race is like a 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. It's a later.
It's later, yeah. I do know it's crazy expensive getting into the fair, period, on Jug Day.
Yeah. And then to get a grandstand seat, you could like forget it.
So Jen's dad, when he still had his business, when he's still alive, we had that store. Her dad's store had a grandstand seat.
Oh, really?
And what's funny is when we first moved up here, I didn't really fully appreciate, and then it had to go and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm like, oh shit, like. It was right there.
It was right there in the palm of my hands.
But so I remember sitting in the grandstand a couple times before I really fully appreciated what it was. And that's some shit, boy.
Yeah,
like, that is some next level action right there.
The fair itself is good people watching. I can imagine where you're bringing like those kind of people watching. You're bringing fair people watching to like high roller.
High end.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It is good shit.
So full circle.
So anyways, yeah. So the reason you get a shoe is to basically pay homage to the fact that it is harness racing, the horse racing.
And then
So you get a horseshoe. So what's super cool is, I should have grabbed my shoes. So every year the little binder or the little twine or whatever that goes from the top of the shoe to the other top of the shoe is different. First year was twine.
Yep. Second year was leather.
Mm-hmm. Third year was just straight wire.
Yep, straight wire.
Fourth year was barbed wire.
Yep. The fifth year
was red ribbon.
Was a special red ribbon with a plaque, like a red plaque.
Yes, you got a badass plaque.
That's awesome. What was this year?
Year 6, I'm not, and so here's where my FOMO comes into full. One of the reasons I can't stop. Well, one, I can't stop because I'm one of the fucking originals. So we're down to I think we're down to 10.
You're probably down lower than that, but
so like I can't stop. Like I will. If Kate Wells is listening to this, I will outlast you. Like I can't. I want to be the last one standing. I want to be the last possum standing on this. So, but anywho, this year they went back to the twine, but they changed the color of the tag that comes on it. So they're recycling and changing the colors.
Okay.
So, I mean, at some point, because initially the idea of the binding thing between, it was supposed to get like quote unquote higher end.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's stronger and stronger and stronger. Well,
you run out of this is platinum.
Yeah, I mean, unless they plan on like smuggling uranium in or some weird shit like that, you know. I mean, like I knew like that had to end sooner or later.
Right. You're like, well, this is gonna. So, what I was hoping. So when I did the 5 years, I was hoping I was like, all right, I'm gonna do 4 years, get my 4 horseshoes, and on the 5th year, they're gonna give me a horse, like a horse statue to put
like a small horse or something like that. Yeah.
I love my plaque, and I would not take that back for anything. That's definitely hanging up. Most of my medals are like in a box right now. We had just moved, and most of them are in the box. Like my horseshoes and my plaque are the only thing that are out. So I was actually Saturday night after the race. A group of us got together, and in that group was the 2 RDs, and we were sitting there talking, and we got on the topic of them putting together. So here's the funny thing: so I didn't know this about horseshoes. There's front horseshoes and there's rear horseshoes. Yes. Didn't know this. I knew that. So they have to order. This is so fucking funny. They have to order only front horseshoes. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I don't know why.
Like, I don't know. I don't know the difference between a front and rear horseshoe is, but whatever. So they only have to order front. So they call, and there's only one place, I guess, they can order this from, and it's a place in Texas. So the person who's telling us, like, dude, you want to hear a funny fucking conversation every year when I call down there and I order, like, 30 odd boxes of fucking front horseshoes. The people are like, the fuck kind of horses do you have? Like, he's like, you like the paws.
Rehabilitation horses.
Yeah. So that's like, someone made the joke about how like it has like the little wheels, like the dog, because like only front legs just get the wheels. Like, we're a rehabilitative veterinarian clinic. Yeah. So like he has to order. But here's what's funny, like the RD, like, so the RD's wife, who, if you want to talk about people who really give up a fuck ton,
yeah.
how about RD wives?
Gosh.
Like, oh my God.
Especially them now that they took over, forget the PR as well.
And as big as they are and as popular as they are, Jesus criminy. So, so I guess the box that shows up is like a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Like
that would have to be.
Heavy as fuck. So they, like the dirt and the dust and all that kind of shit, heavy ass shit over her, like beautiful countertops, all this kind of stuff. Oh. So then they got on the topic of, so that's a pain in the ass. But then they got on the topic of, they'd never thought about it, but they have to make all those fuckers, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, first off, barbed wire. Like,
I saw one of them last year at Pack and Pickup, like he's like, there was 5 more that I forgot about. He's sitting there with like those pliers, like twisting it around to get it in there. He's like, I didn't think barbed wire through very well.
So this year, right? So we got on the topic of how difficult it is. So this year, they're unloading one of the vehicles or something like that, and just they're putting shit in the vehicle, right? They sat the barbed wire next to a couple bottles, 2 liters of soda. Oh. So they opened the back of the truck up. Like, the fuck? Why is half the soda gone? They're like, one of the RDs like thought their son had drank it and like put half of it back. He's like, what the fuck?
Why didn't you just grab it? Yeah.
Yeah. So then they realize, oh shit. But yeah, they're like, man, and that shit's heavy, Yeah. You can't walk with it next to you because it'll snag your pants and shit. So like that shit sucks. But they said, actually, as big of a pain in the ass as barbed wire is, what of the 5 different binders, what one do you think is the biggest pain in the ass?
The ribbon?
Nope.
I just thought the ribbon because it was too thin in those holes.
The twine.
Really?
Yeah. So this is how far down the rabbit hole. So here's how much these RDs love us. When they make the ones with the twine, they are literally having to tape the edge like a shoelace to get it through the hole, to then tie it and then take the tape off.
Oh my goodness.
Like the time.
And the twine is year 1. So all these year 1, there's a lot of year 1s this year.
At least 50.
Yeah.
At least 50.
And then all the extra, the 6 years.
And then 50 is just the ones that the 50 number is just first ultras. Never mind if it's their first Possum, but maybe not their first ultra.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That was the... Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So I think...
That's a lot.
I think the number that they had to do this year at twine was 80.
That is nuts.
80 of 150.
No, thank you.
Shit. So anyways, that is the story of why you get a horseshoe with your Possum races. That is why you get those.
All right. So we've talked a little bit about the behind the scenes, where the money goes and stuff like that. And we've hinted at previous like things we liked about the race and stuff like that. And we're not going to go into like every single year because every year had its own kind of thing. But what we will go into is we will answer our favorites and our worst years.
I honest to God, was it? It was Seamus. I ran really hungover. Last year I ran Seamus. I ran Seamus like fucking damn near drunk last year.
Yeah, that was real bad.
So stupid.
That was real bad.
Like I honest to God, dry heave like 3 times.
2017, not this past race.
Yeah. So I was getting ready to say that was.
I remember that.
Oh my God!
Because that was when I wore the Speedo last year.
Yeah. There's a bunch of dumb mistakes made last year. My worst year. My worst year.
And this is not like worst time. Like not the worst time you ran, but like the worst like overall. And again, we're talking like worse as in worse for us, not necessarily that it's ever a bad race. The race itself has been amazing, well run. We're talking
only
about
because I'm grossly out of shape this year, and because it's so fucking hot. This was an exceptionally brutal year for me this year, and I was like really trying to focus on other people, so like I maybe didn't take the best care of myself.
Right.
During the race, and like had lost focus a couple times, and like, oh shit, getting off the rails a little bit.
Well, we didn't. I think this may have been in our pre-talk. I don't think we actually talked about this here, but Jen had run it, and it was her first.
Yeah, this is Jen's first.
Yeah.
What's funny is we had talked about this on the podcast. We talked about last week about how I was going to start after her.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
She did tell me a little bit. I think this.
To my wife's credit, it took me fucking forever to catch up to her.
She said it was like 16.
It was mile 16 before I finally caught up to her. Sounding a little cocky, I honestly thought I'd catch her like mile 10. I honestly did.
Yeah. That was our talk last week.
Yeah.
We thought that. Yeah.
It honestly took me until mile 16 to catch her, and then when I finally caught her, I'm like, "Hey, boo, do you want to go ahead and implement our plan?" No, I don't. You're not. You're mean to run with. Andrea's being much nicer to me. I'm like, well, fuck you very much too. Then I'm like, well, shit. So I'm like, all right. So I ran. I ended up running this year. Now, what made this year really, really, really fun was, again. So when I say this is the worst year, it was the worst year. Quite honestly, I think this is my worst time ever, and I'm not a heat runner.
Yeah,
I am girthy. I can use some 40-degree weather.
I got enough body heat.
Which will bring me up to my favorite, but we'll get to that in a second. So but what made this year fun was I ran with Mike Draper, who this was his first.
Yeah, it was his first.
And not only for his first Possum, but his first Ultra.
Yep.
So I ran with him for probably 20 fucking miles. And if you don't know Mike Draper, if you guys don't know Mike Draper, if you haven't ran,
you just need to go to Stas at 11:45.
Holy fuck, that dude might be one of the funniest dudes I fucking know.
He is so funny.
And respect to him, the dude's a fucking light colonel. He's a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard, so active National Guard. Puts his ass on the line. Fucking funnier than shit. Yeah. So I ran like 20 miles with him, and then just kind of ended up kind of pulling away from him a little bit, and ended up catching up to Matt Hort, another super solid dude.
And that was his first.
And it was his first. So I ran with him, just like, hey, what do you kind of need? No, just hang out with me. Fuck yeah, I'll hang out with you. You know? So like,
he's a cool dude to run with.
He's fun as fuck to hang out with. So it's fun to talk to him. He has a son down in South Carolina right now. Yep. Well, he's back home now. He's going to college down there. But so ran with him for a 10K, probably 6 miles ish. Yeah. Had a blast with him. So it was just fun to run with, some different people and stuff like that. I don't normally get to run a lot with. My favorite year, though, going back to me being girthy, was the year that it was fucking crazy ass cold and it hailed on us and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It was the year that we had to run more road than normal.
That was year 2.
Because shit was that year 2 or 3?
Year 2 is when we had to go along 23.
So
that was the year that everything was flooded and went long because we had to sit on a lot of road.
So it ended up being like 34 or 35 some odd miles or some crazy shit.
It was like 34.
Here's why this is my favorite year, because that was the year I really got to meet Mike Smuds. That was the year I ran just a fuck ton with Mike. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because like, out of that was born like a really great story of where like we were at some point and like Mike had like multiple layers. Like he had like a rainproof shell on. Like he has like clothes on, and I'm still running in like shorts and a t-shirt. And Mike's like, bro, aren't you going to put something on? Aren't you going? I'm like, Mom, dog, I'm a fucking polar bear, dude. Like, I'm fat as fuck. Like, I am golden.
Retaining
like,
this heat.
This is where I live. This is where I thrive. But that will go down as one of my favorite years just because I got to meet Mike and ran. Like, that was a real good friendship was born out of that year. I will tell you, if I had to change one thing, I think if I could change one thing about the Possum series or about playing Possum, and I guess actually Seamus too, if I could change one thing, it would just simply be taking it back to starting at the beach.
Yeah. Starting at the beach is, well, yes and no.
I like it starting at the beach.
I'd like to start at the beach. So what John's talking about is the first year of Possum. We started at the beach at Delaware State Park, and since then, is it Buckeye Grove?
Yep.
It starts at Buckeye Grove. Did it start at the dam?
Seamus started the dam one year.
I'm not the dam. Mink Run. Did something ever start over there, or am I just?
Oh, it's just all the training runs usually start there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Seamus,
So we started
first year. Seamus started that below the dam.
Yeah, started below the
1
dam.
year.
Right. And then it went to Buckeye Grove,
and then everything goes
and that's
to
where
Buckeye.
we've been
But
since.
I would like for everything to go to the beach.
Yeah, the beach was. I mean, the beach was a nice start, but I think it's from I want to say from an aid station standpoint. If you go from campground to finish, you're cutting off 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
Of that, so it's like when people need it.
Yeah,
they got that last, and you're like, all right, I've got a 5K.
It's a little different now. Yeah,
I got a 5K until then.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah, there's some logistics involved in that, but I guess
they know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, they may or may not have been around for a couple of days. I think it's more of a nostalgia thing. Like I remember, maybe not at the end of Seamus, but definitely at the end of Possum on a nicer year, which those have been few and far between. At the beach you could have went down and sat in the water, or whatever, and soaked. I guess you could still do that at Buckeye Grove. It's just not.
It's a little further away.
Yeah,
you don't get to walk on the kiddie litter to get there.
Yeah, the goose shit. Those mean motherfuckers. So. Those are my favorite and least favorite. What ranks for you?
I would say like my worst year. I would probably say, as much as I liked the first year, like getting into the trail run, like that one was pretty tough because John and I both ran the Flying Pig 10 days before, or 13 days before. It was 2 weeks before. That was dumb.
Was it? I thought it was only a week before.
It was 2 weeks.
Was it? Okay.
It was definitely, but still, it still qualified us for the Marathon Maniacs.
Yes,
The reason why we did it.
Why our dumbasses did it.
Like, we want to be Marathon Maniacs.
We'll be so cool.
Yeah, we'll be the best ones ever. Yeah, it was dumb.
I never even registered.
No, I didn't either. After that, I was like, I don't want to be this. I want to be cool.
I remember going back to that first year. I remember, and Jen still laughs about this. She still fucking jokes about this. I remember crossing the finish line and like first thing out of my mouth, crossing the finish line that first year is like, fuck, 5 miles is so much further than you think it is.
You don't realize how much further it is.
It's just fucked up.
Yeah, so we ran, Flying Pig, and then 13 days later did that, and that was it was tough. That was probably the best overall weather we've ever had at a Possum race.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular.
Was year one, like it was just like perfect. It was real weird.
Yeah.
But it was different. I was like, I've never crossed a stream before. I remember like bringing an extra pair of socks. I'm like, do I need to change my socks after they get wet? Like I didn't know. Like I was carrying socks with me in a camel bag. Like, I had no idea. But like wheels fell off at like 19 there. Chad came and was there like cheering me on like to the finish.
Yeah.
And I convinced him to do it the next year. So the next year we did the Flying Pig, and then was it the next year or 2 years later? He just got his 5.
He did 5, so no, it was the very next year.
So it was the very next year. Same kind of thing where he did the Flying Pig and then went and did that, and I was just like this is a bad idea. You're not gonna want to do this.
But you should.
But you totally should. And it was the year that we had to run across, run down 23, and the extra miles and stuff like this. And Chad's like, really? I signed up for a race, and this is what happens. Like
that was such a funny year.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. But so I would say that was pretty bad. And then the year 4 was pretty tough too because there was just so much mud. Like that's when we had a little bit of flooding beforehand, but it wasn't like real raining that much.
People were losing. There is a section of trail up on
Bigfoot,
yes, where people were literally losing shoes in the mud.
It was so thick you had to like high step it, and at that point you're at mile 20 something.
You're way in it.
And you're just like, well, my legs don't work.
Yeah. Fuck you, Shoe. You can stay in the mud.
Yeah, all of Lakeview and that, you're just like, I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate Shoe, you stay here. I'll worry about it later.
You know what else made this year kind of tough? And this is something weird that unless you run trails, you probably won't even like truly appreciate. The grass was much higher this year than in years past.
Ooh. Like much on the dam wall?
On the dam wall, on Lakeview, on all the grass. All the grass. And I'm going to go as far as say significantly higher.
That messes with you.
like it was, you're like, my legs are getting tired.
Well, it's either you're trying to high step over it or you're dragging through
just
it.
Dragging through it. And I'm not, Draper and I even talked about it. Like, we're not known for our high steps anyways. So
just the subtle slow step.
Yeah, both of us like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is some bullshit.
And then I'd say my favorite year is year 5. I was like, I went crazy, tried to get a PR there, which I did. And then to finish and be like, all right, I got my 5 years, got my sweet ass plaque. I don't know. That just kind of like bookended it for me, like wrapped it all up real nice. And it was a really good race. I don't know.
You know what's weird is not last year. No, wait. Yeah, last year. I think last year is the year. That's why I'm having a hard time remembering year 4, maybe, because I wasn't there. I had to run it rogue. Because,
that's right. Yep.
Yes,
yep.
year 4 I ran rogue. So year 5 then is my PR year there also.
Yeah, we both had really good races that year. You were ahead of me.
I think I was 6 flat.
That's right, because I was going for 6 and I ended up at like 6:10 or something like that, or 6:12 or something like that.
Yes, that's right, folks. 6 flat is fast for me in a 50K. Suck it. So,
I mean, I think that's pretty respectable.
There's some of those other like 50K. I can do like 50 miles in that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, leave me alone.
Yeah, this is what we do.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that.
But yeah, so I mean, that's Possum. There's so much more we can talk about. We can get more into races and the people, and I mean, Possum is really what got John and I into trail running. John invited me yelling across our neighbor, like, hey, there's this cool trail race that's happening.
And now, because someone wants to downsize, those days are over.
Now we're no longer living 2 doors down from each other. So that's all right. It makes for more good stories here because we don't waste them all talking.
Yeah.
We just talk while we're recording.
God.
Hey, I'll put a sticker on the door. I'll put a sticker on the door. Let you guys know.
Speaking of funny stories, like, so I had to go to the dentist today.
We'll go ahead now.
No, you want now? You want me to talk about?
Is there anything Possum we want to talk about? Anything other Possum?
I don't know. Dude, it's just an awesome series.
Yeah, it's amazing. You definitely want to sign up. These races they sell out.
Like
Seamus
now.
definitely sells out like the day it opens, which is New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So at midnight, be in there. 50K usually lasts until probably close to when Seamus starts, but it's been creeping up
because people use Seamus to kind of test.
Yeah, and it's been creeping up. So I would not wait. They do a deal if you book both of them at the same time. So just sign up for both.
I could see in the future where they go ahead and do a triple.
Well, if they can get the other race, or are you talking about get for it the PR?
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Why not?
Different crew, different crowd from you. Have your northern crowd to.
It's funny because you get, even if you just go to the races, you can feel like a different vibe.
Yes.
Fucking the OG, the possum, and the Seamus. Like the vibe there is just so much more like fucking trail hippie. Like it's just so like laid back.
It's not racing; it's just running.
There's some high strung motherfuckers up there. Forget the PR, man. Like, bro, chill the fuck out.
Chill, bro.
Smoke this. Like,
just chill out,
just
man.
Fucking relax. You are harshing my vibe.
All right, but yeah, we'll put all that stuff in the show notes with the Possum Race Series and that sort of thing. But moving to some local things, John has a story that I haven't heard yet. I've been waiting to hear.
I actually forgot about it, and I was like, oh, I got something in my tooth. Oh shit, the tooth. So I'm in getting my teeth cleaned, right? At Delaware Dental. Shout out
to Delaware Dental.
Not yet a sponsor.
Not yet a sponsor of this podcast.
We'll be after today, though.
Yeah, Dr. Sexton, we'll make sure.
Dr. Sexton, hit us up, slide in our DMs. So I'm in there getting my jibs cleaned, and the dental hygienist I have, I now know not great at math, but extremely proficient at cleaning teeth. Fabulous at cleaning teeth. She forces flossing upon you. So that's
a hygienist.
It's a hygienist. She does what she's supposed to do. She's doing a great job. And they're super cool because they remember you, right? So she's like, oh, have you done any running lately? And I'm like, oh yeah, as a matter of fact, just did a 50K Saturday. Oh, that's super cool. And she's like, now this would be weird, but why is it called a 50K? And I'm like, because it's 50. It's because that's how far it is.
Yeah, 50 kilometers.
And she's like, well, how far is that? And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it's 50 kilometers. She's like, well, but I mean, how far? I'm like, you mean how many miles? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's like 31 and change. And she's like, oh. She's like, well, why all like the weird names for the distances? I'm like, I don't understand what you're asking me. And she's like, I'm like, are you asking me why a 31 and a half mile race is called a 50K? Or like why a 5K is 3.1?
Yeah.
Is that what you're like kind of like? And she's like, well, yeah. I'm like, because you're converting it. One's imperial and one is metric. Oh, and it is like a fucking...
Is it imperial or empirical?
Empirical. No, it's...
Empirical. Yeah, imperial.
14-year-old. Imperial, yeah. So, like, I'm like, you're converting it. She's like, oh. And it was like watching a fucking light bulb flip on. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, do you listen to the podcast? She's like, no. I'm like, good, because I'm going to make fun of you tonight.
Because you're going to be on it.
It's going to happen. I'm not going to say her name, but it was fucking awesome. Shit. Like, she was like... And then of course from there, like, well, why is a marathon 26.2? Like, do you know the story about that? About why it's like the 0.2, where it came from?
The story I heard was they were doing the marathon in London. And,
yes.
And they had to move it 0.2 back because it needed to go by the palace or whatever.
Yeah, the Queen. For the marathon, like, or for the Olympics.
Right.
That's so fucking weird that stuck like that. But anyways, so I told her that story, and then she still had to go back and like double check about. She's like, I still don't, and like I honestly, it is now 7 hours later, and not 100% sure she still fully gets.
I'll text her. I'll be like, all right, we're going to do a quick test. How far is 50K?
So I don't think she fully understands that it's like one is a Europe, like, essentially like a European, and they almost like
one is everyone but us.
Else, and then a fucking...
We're getting taught.
The fucking peanut gallery's chiming in. Who's supposed to be in bed?
It's past your bedtime, young lady.
Oh my god. So anyways, I was like, that is awesome. Outstanding. I was like, I cannot wait.
That is great.
But while they're not super solid at math, they are great at taking care of your jibs.
They're great at the teeth.
It is honestly, I will honestly say, it is the only dental office where I will actually go ahead and just set my appointment. And like, you know what I mean? Like when I left today, they're like, well, your 6 months out is now. I'm like, okay, go ahead and book it.
Yeah.
Whereas other dental offices, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll call and set it. I'm like, fuck you. I hate you people. I hate the dentist. But this dental office is good enough that
I just had to get a filling redone.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, and it was just like in and out.
Did you have the old school like silver one in there?
Yeah.
They took it out and put like the.
It was kind of cracking like a little bit, so they just had to just basically like drill out and clean it out and then fill it back in. But I mean, no time at all, super easy.
And now what's Dr. Sexton, man, he was like, the first time I went here, he was like, so you're supposed to like, if these are starting to get gaps in them, you're supposed to pop them out. And I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. He's like, yeah. Like,
I'm a dentist.
He's like, why do you think people have to get root canals? I'm like, because their teeth are fucked up. Like, I don't know. What do you? He's like, bro. He's like, no, man. He's like, once fillings go bad, I'm like,
yeah.
What? I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're smoking crack.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just trying to squeeze a couple bucks out of my insurance. But now the stuff they put in is so much easier.
Yeah.
Like they put that little blue light in there, like seals it.
Yeah, seals it and it's done. You're just like, this was so easy.
This is awesome. I'm like, shit.
You're like, what's going on?
I know, it's so much easier.
Your head's ringing before
Oh, God. So anyways, that is my...
So that's our local plug of the week is Delaware Dental.
Delaware Dental. Dr. Sexton.
Another thing that we have, who's doing this run?
This is...
I don't remember who's doing it. So it's as John looks it up, it's the run across Georgia, 260, it says 260 miles for the flag. It's basically Run for the Flag is a 260-mile run in honor of those people who have championed the American spirit. Run for Flag along its course, 260 American flags decorated with the faces and stories of some great Americans on each flag.
So
it's across southern Georgia.
So the two people who are running this are like seriously hard asses as far as ultra runners. It is Cheryl Splain and Terry Lemke.
Did they do the Run Vol, the across Tennessee, or was that the one that they were talking about wanting to do?
I think they were talking about wanting to do it, and they decided to do this.
Okay. Yeah, because 300 miles sounds stupid, so let's just let's do 260.
So they're doing this race across Georgia, and like I just have, and like Cheryl was telling me about this a while back, or Terry was, and like they had told me about this like back around, forget the PR time, and I kind of had remembered it as kind of keep it on my radar. But then I just saw Cheryl posted something. You can actually track them now, dude. And I tell you what, like I'm looking at the crew that's going down there and pacing them and hanging out with them, and they are going to have like a heck of a crew down there with them, taking care of them and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to just see some really cool stuff happening,
we'll have the links in the show notes. We'll put the link
up so you guys can track them running across Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia. Do we have anything else? Any other local things or recommendations? Or I've got nothing written down.
I have nothing. Yeah. If you don't write anything down, then there's
notes. What are those? As always, we'd love for you to reach out to us on social media at Run Beer and BS. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can give us beer recommendations, topic ideas, share your training. If you did complete Possum, we'd love to see a picture of you and your horseshoe or your trophy if you got one of those, winning an age group or getting DFL. She walked out of the room already.
She walked out.
And if you do enjoy the podcast and you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as a subscriber so you don't miss any of these episodes. We are on we're on most of the podcast platforms. You should be able to find us by searching in your search bar on your favorite podcast platform. If you do enjoy the podcast, we'd love if you give us a rating or review, or if you don't enjoy it, also do that. And we'd like to know what you'd like us to change. We do pick reviews of the week on iTunes and Facebook, the favorite ones. We didn't get any reviews this week, so no one's getting stickers.
No sticker for you.
I've got 2 envelopes with stickers in my car right now that I need to put in your mailbox before I leave.
Why?
Because I just forgot they're just in my car.
Oh, to send to somebody?
To send to somebody, okay. Yeah. So they're already like, I think both of them are like Northern Ohio.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you put something in your mailbox, right?
The little genie's come and take it.
If you put something in your mailbox, if your mailbox is empty.
Yep.
And let's say, 9:30 at night,
yep.
You put something in your mailbox.
Yep.
And the next day at 3 o'clock, when the mail person rolls around,
yep.
And they open up the mailbox to put the mail in there, should they not automatically take whatever's in there, regardless if the little flag is up or not?
No.
I disagree.
How do they know you're not there? And you just
how do they know?
How you weren't there and you just didn't get your mail the day before?
Because it's not fucking marked from the post office that it went through the post system.
But you're asking them to take it out and look
God, they got to take it out? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, government workers, okay?
Oh, dude.
It's a dying industry.
I'm just saying.
The United States Postal Service is a dying industry.
So we put something in the mailbox.
Unless you want to sponsor us, and we would love to take your money.
Which is just a weird thing. Like, that's how little I use to mail. I'm like, I put it in there, and then Jen went and got, she's like, what the fuck? I thought you mailed this up. I'm like, I did. Why do you got it? She's like, it was in the box. I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, did you put the flap up? I'm like, no, there was nothing in there. Why do I need to put the fucking flap up? Like, I knew he was
they wouldn't know if nothing's in there or not. If the flap's not up, they're not going to grab anything out of it. They're going to open it. They're going to put in.
They open it. They can clearly look and see something is in the fucking mailbox.
I think this is a weird argument to have. Weird.
I'm just saying that if I'm delivering mail and I pull up to a fucking house and I open the mailbox and there's a fucking letter staring at me, I know I didn't put the motherfucker in there.
I mean, I guess.
Right? Do they think another mail person, like, oh shit, there's someone creeping on my territory delivering mail early? No. It didn't just like, it's not like the mail from the night before had a baby and like left it in there. I mean,
the signal flag on the side of mailboxes was instituted in 1915 by Roy Jorelman, according to the Smithsonian's Postal Museum. Apparently, that's a postal museum is a thing. Postal carriers were to raise the flag so residents would know when they received mail. So this is different.
See?
Or postal customers also raised the signal flag so the post carriers would stop to pick up outgoing mail, even if mail wasn't being delivered to the mailbox that day.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why you would lift a flag.
In case you didn't. Let's say you happen to not have something. But let's face it, in the day and age that we live in, and like there's fucking shit in your box every day. Yeah. There's no reason to put that flag up. That flag is to draw attention that you either have.
We're taking a hard stand on this.
I'm taking a very strong hard. She's like, I can't believe you didn't put the flag up. How would they know? What the fuck do you mean? How would they know? Because there's a goddamn letter in there. What did they think was supposed to happen with it? Like,
your job's to get the mail.
I don't feel like this is fucking physics. Like, I feel like this is pretty fucking simple. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, I could not wrap my head around why. And by the way, I honestly believe we have one of the better mail carriers in this neighborhood too.
Yeah, he's really good mail carrier.
Like, he's a good dude. I'm like, what the fuck, homie? Like,
all right, listeners. So this one's on you. What do you think of the flag? On your mailbox, should you have to put it up if you want outgoing mail to go there? Please leave that comment in the bottom of this post on Facebook.
There it is.
Because I'm very interested to see if anyone else agrees with the crazy shit that John's talking about.
I guarantee you, if they listen to what I just said with open ears, they will end up being on my side. It just makes no sense to me.
I mean, just put the flag up.
Why? Here's the other. Here's the other thing. I put the flag up. Yep. What does that tell every low life scumbag that happens to be driving through my neighborhood looking for something?
That you have something going out.
Exactly. That lets them know there's potentially something in there that's still of value.
What are you putting for value?
A check?
What do you? They can't cash a check.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because the fucking criminals can't figure out how to cash anything.
So they can cash a check, and then all you do is you say, no, that wasn't to the intended target, and it gets canceled.
What happens if they cashed it already and they're offering with the money? Yes, I'll recoup my money, but they still got the money.
Well, who cares? You got your money back.
I fucking care. I'm just saying, if you put the flag up, it's basically like putting it's literally putting a red flag up saying, hey, I got something in this fucking box you might want to steal.
I would make it a red flag and actually put the red flag on yours.
What happens if I'm sending, I have a niece that lives in New York. What if I want to send her a gift in the mail? And I put the little flag up. Now some degenerate rolls through the neighborhood. He's like, oh shit, I wonder what's in that mailbox.
A beacon for thieves. In 2009, Ventura County reporter experienced a serious case of identity theft after leaving paid bills in the mailbox and raising the flag. There's some other things there. Dude, Ventura County Detective Eric Boskow told Stoltz that the red flag is like a beacon for thieves.
I'm telling you, the fucking flag is the dumbest thing.
I don't want to join your side. I've got to take a hard stance on this side.
No, dude.
I'm not doing it.
Come to the dark side.
But yeah, leave your comments on what you think about all of that process there with the flags. I guess I don't know. Yeah, thanks for listening to this episode. It will be live in 2.5 hours once we hit stop and I edit it. I mean, we don't really take anything out of it, even all of our nonsense.
All right, this is a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Again, check out Possum Races. All the stuff will be on our website at runningbeerandbs.com/EP019. You can reach out to us on all the social medias. As we said, you can also reach out to us via email if you have any comment or want to give us any information or just talk to us or say you like this podcast at runningbeerandbs.com. Thanks to Buckeye Lake Brewery for a delicious beer that we have. They did not give it to us. That's really the plug, so they would next time. But yeah, I think that's everything we have here. John, you got anything else for him?
Have nothing.
All right, you guys have a wonderful week.
Peace.